Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Lori, and I want to talk to you about acceptance. This is something, and a lot of you have asked me, right? You said, okay, I hear you, I have tools, I'm really struggling with this acceptance, and I have a lot of different podcasts and various topics and my various contents on this. So I wanted to give you 3 reasons and examples as to where you're struggling with your acceptance, all right? And it is going to come down to your ego. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to your ego. If you get a chance, go through the Ego Death series. There's 5 episodes here on YouTube, and it's a few weeks back. So if you go back, it's literally in a playlist, but it's going to be very helpful for you to understand. So let's talk a little bit about acceptance. We're going to so acceptance is a big umbrella. So we're not going to dissect it all today, but if you want me to do something more on acceptance on the podcast, please let me know, and then I can go into detail with it and even on the Patreon and stuff like that. But I want to talk to you about your acceptance of the past. All right, let's start there. Let's start number 1, which is accepting the past. And this is where the victim mentality can come into play, right? And listen, yes, things that have happened to you are absolutely heartbreaking at times and not your responsibility. But healing that is absolutely your responsibility. But in order to heal it, you must accept that it is what it is. And I know when people hear it is what it is, it's my foundation of life, is it is what it is. It's really helped me get through so much. And the acceptance of that being it is what it is without making it more than it needs to be. Doesn't matter the level of how bad and severe this trauma was, because it sucked, and I hear you. But that past itself is not coming back. It doesn't matter if you stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't matter that somebody isn't taking accountability. It really does not matter. I'm not saying in a perfect world, let's say it's a person, wouldn't be like, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. I'm so sorry this happened. It doesn't really change the fact that it happened. Okay. So I say this to you because it's an important factor that you understand that to accept that what has happened is a key. See, you are under this impression that if you accept it, somehow or another, you're permissing it. Well, it's already happened. Whether you've wanted it to happen, you've permissed it to happen, or anything, you've given permission for it, it's already done. You didn't have to have permission. You didn't have to give permission because it's already finished. Okay, so there's the acceptability. If you go to the podcast this past week, episode 87, I think, or 88, not sure, 87, I think, it's on radical acceptance. Radical acceptance is a huge DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy technique used, especially in borderline clients, but it helps, so helpful for everything, it is what it is, babe. Like that is literally a foundation of DBT. It is what it is. Because any way you spin it, you don't have to like it, you don't have to love it, you don't have to understand it, but it is done. So you say, well, how can I get there? You're going to have to work through it. That's why those 5 journals are important. See, you living in the victimhood and the victim mentality, because remember, you were victimized. You're only a victim if you allow yourself to keep replaying it. And remember this, and this is an important factor. When you do that, your body is almost reliving that exact trauma, so you're constantly giving it that. So to release it is where you gain your power back. See, you think that by holding on to it, you're protecting yourself. The same walls that protect you are the same walls that imprison you. So to release it is where you can get your power. So go listen to Radical Acceptance on the podcast, or even here, it funnels over to the YouTube. It's very helpful. And so that's that's number 1, okay, is accepting that it is what it is. Whether you like it, whether you think about it till 4 o'clock in the morning, whether you try to understand it, why you try to do all that, that's ego. And that's not being able to release it. So that's number 1, okay. Number 2 is going to be your fear, which you know fear is false evidence appearing real. So fear isn't real. Your body says, oh my gosh, I'm like almost crippled at times. I'm debilitated. I am frozen solid in time. Sure. Okay. That's a feeling, but your feelings aren't facts. They're never going to be facts. They're your perceptions. Facts don't change and they carry no emotion. So if I say to you, this is a little microphone, you could be like, I don't like that microphone. Doesn't matter. So what? It's still a microphone. I don't like it. So there's no emotion to it. So your emotions do change, your feelings do change. They're just your perceptions. But you have fear in acceptance. To accept that you are responsible for your life right now And what I mean by your life, I don't just mean like fiscally, I'm talking emotionally, right? You have a fear of saying, oh my God, I have to take accountability. And that's the facts. See, this is where people sometimes struggle because you want it to be everybody else. You have a fear of if you say, well, I'm here now, what do I do with it? You're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do with it. So it's easier for you to hold on to a trauma that even though you know it sucked, that trauma sucked, everything about it sucked, you hated every bit of it, you're familiar with it. So to live in the victim mentality keeps you in a space of odd comfort. And that odd comfort is knowing what it's like. Your fear tells you, holy crap, if I'm going to be responsible for this, I don't know what to expect. That's your fear of the unknown. And the fear of the unknown, we're going to have to work you through that because the fear of the unknown itself is where so many opportunities live. It is one of the most beautiful places, is the unknown. You're fearing it because your ego is telling you you can't control it. Correct. That's why vulnerability is one of your biggest level of confidence. And people go, well, wait, how does vulnerability and confidence go together? Because when you're confident in your vulnerability, you know that it's going to be what it's going to be, and you're going to survive it one way or another. So the number 2 reason that you have a lot of stress and struggles with acceptance is the fear of going, oh my God, well, for X amount of years, this is how I've lived. So now what do I do? But again, you not releasing it doesn't protect you like you think it does. It's just not going to, it never has, and it never will. Okay, so that's number 2. So now we're going to talk about number 3 to wrap you up on the 3, right? And the third piece of that, and the third thing to understand about acceptance is you have to stay in the present space. So to accept means that you understand that what has happened, what could happen can't happen now, and what is happening right now. Maya Angelou said, every storm runs out of rain, right? So, and if you think about it, you can't have negative without positive. You can't have positive without negative. You can't have sun without dark time. You can't have rainbows without rain. You know, so you have to remember that you got to stay present. You are going on constant prep mode, and this is why you have a hard time accepting it. And here's the kicker to that piece of it. You don't own people. When you stay present, you're very understanding that you don't own people. You don't own anything. The reality is you don't own anything. You're temporary, your life's temporary, everything around you is temporary. People, things. But you don't own things. When you can stay present, you understand that. You don't own people. They're not yours to possess. Okay? So when you say, I lost someone, they're not keys. You didn't lose somebody. You guys just aren't together anymore. You're not in alignment anymore. Stop saying you don't want to lose people. Stop saying you don't want to never have that person again. These people aren't life rafts. And very often when you're latching onto a life raft of a person, you're their anchor. So you think that you're holding on to them. Meanwhile, you are pulling them backwards. So when you accept those things and work on understanding that at the end of the day, you are your responsibility. Your emotions are your responsibility. The healing of your trauma is your responsibility. What has happened in the past, it does not define you. It is just a part of you. Your past is a part of you. It is not a definition of you. It is no one's responsibility for your feelings to make it better for you. It is no one's responsibility for that. When you can put the ego beside you and not in front of you and walk hand in hand with it, then and only then are you in that space to where you can really work on acceptance. But you are responsible for you. And no one has to walk on eggshells during this healing journey. Just because you have anxiety, just because you have something going on, just because you have a bad past, does not mean that everyone around you has to walk on ginger. Okay? And that's an important factor. And that's a pill that you have to swallow. So part of the acceptance is that it isn't everybody else. Okay? Again, and I will repeat this, the stuff in the situations, whether it be narcissism, whether it be physical abuse, domestic abuse, sexual abuse, any of that, that's not your fault. It's not your responsibility. Valid. I'm validating that. You can't live there. If you live there, you are now allowing yourself to be a victim and you're victimizing yourself over and over again. So to have the tools and say you want the tools and you want to do the work, you have to be willing to walk through the fire. And when I say walk through the fire means you're going to have to walk through the pain. You're going to have to embrace it. You're going to have to accept it. But this is you. It isn't for you to worry about why this person isn't doing it the way you did it and how you would do it. Stay here. So let's work on the art of acceptance. If you want me to go deeper, let me know in the comments. Love you guys.